Thank you, Adrian and Mark Duet, for that great song. And today we have Adrian and Mark, Adrian on guitar and Mark on drums on our show. I want to thank everyone who makes this show possible, our production crew, Tony and Freddie and Pops and Bill Godomsky and everybody who makes the show possible. Thank you very much. I also want to thank our viewing audience, because without you, we would not be the #1 show on Cable Access Network and the #1 show on the internet. And today we have a musical show. We have done musical shows in the past, and we like to highlight local talent from Chicago to play, and talent that sometimes doesn't get the play it should be. I have Mark on guitar, or Mark on drums, and Adrian on guitar, and I met them in the subway. And I heard them about 6 times or so, and I said, these guys are great, but I was just going somewhere else. And then one day, I decided to stop, and I missed like 5, 6 trains, and I heard them. They play on the CTA. That's where they play. That's their main venue. They've also played in other venues, and there's another band that Adrian's associated with, and they played at other venues like the House of Blues. I saw Mark and Adrian recently at a bar in the Lincoln Park, Lakeview area, and they were awesome. But I mostly see them on the CTA, and they're on the Jackson, either blue line or red line, and you can see them almost any day of the week. They play sometimes 3, 4, sometimes 5 days a week on the blue line, Jackson, blue or red line on Jackson. So let me ask you guys a question. How did you guys meet?
Oh, well, most commonly asked question.
Exactly.
We met right down in the subway. First of all, thanks a lot for having us on your show.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for coming.
We really appreciate it. It's nice to be here. We met in the subway. I had gotten a permit, and he was playing in the subway with 2 other drummers. And I had been playing for about 2 weeks just as a solo act, which got very boring for me. And I'd seen him playing with his setup, and I thought that it would really complement the sound I was making with this setup I have right here. And so I asked him if he wanted to stay and jam, and he kind of gave me this look like, no, not really.
Mark, did you have some doubts about Adrian, young white kid? Say
Yeah,
he can't keep up with you?
Yeah, I've been down there for a long time. I've been playing on the streets and in the subway, Bulls games, Bears games, Cubs games. I'm everywhere. So for the last like 25 to 30 years, I've been street performing, and cats come up to me all the time and they want to jam with you and play with you. And I'm like, man, I'm working. I ain't got time for that, But something told me, I don't know what it was, because usually I don't do that, But I was like, go on, plug up. Let me see what you got, So.
He had an Oliver Twist moment.
Yeah.
Kid, please, will you jam
So,
with me?
man, after he played a few chords, and I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
You can stay.
So on a few chords, you knew that you guys could have
Exactly.
synchronicity.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So how long have you been playing, Adrian?
I've been playing 9 years.
9 years.
With
wow.
terrible practice habits.
Mark, so you've been performing, you said 25, 30 years. How long have you been playing?
I've been playing since high school. I've stopped counting after 30 years, but it's been 30 plus.
30 plus years,
Yes.
okay. And do you guys take formal lessons, or do you play by ear, or how did you?
I'm self-taught myself.
Self-taught?
Yeah.
We're self-taught, definitely. We've learned how to play with each other, really.
Okay. Do you guys read music, or it's all from ear?
It's all, for me, everything that I learned was just, just ear inclination. I took a few lessons. I started off on the saxophone, actually. And I learned a little bit about reading music. But once I started on guitar, I sort of had an understanding, and I just started learning songs that were familiar to me, songs that I was into. And it just sort of built up from there. I had a couple lessons, and I just kind of kept going.
Now, why did you guys pick the name Adrian Mark Duet? Obviously, it makes a lot of sense, but besides that...
Well, it was just kind of simple math, Frank, actually. It's just cop-out. Some might say it was a cop-out.
Yeah.
Because it was just our first names.
Yeah, it could have been the Mark and Adrian duet, but it's an alphabetical order.
Alphabetical order, right. And then the duets, 2.
Now, I've seen on the internet, sometimes it's called In the AM.
Yeah.
Well, that was going to be a band name. We've sort of, had troubleshooted other band names, but it sort of keeps...
Coming back.
Yeah.
Now, Adrian, how did you decide to go in the subway and street performing?
I had lost my job I was working as a server, and I just got tired of that. I just
Food
you know,
service?
food service. I was serving. I was a waiter, and yeah, just I'd never really. It sort of always disturbed me just having to do, things that I was told to do. Working for somebody. It doesn't work for me, and I figured, well, might as well try to just take my knowledge of music and troubleshoot it in the subway and see what happens.
Now, that first song you guys played on our intro, what's the name of it? Do you have a name for your songs?
Well, we're kind of in the process of naming them because
they're all
we have
originals.
They're all original songs. We're in the process of naming them because they're, for up to this point, they've pretty much been solely instrumental. But when we play live, I sing. Not all the lyrics are finished yet, but on the record, which is coming, we're going to start working on a record very shortly. I'll be singing, and then the songs will acquire names.
All right, why don't you play another song for us? If you have a name, you can
Got it.
tell the audience. And
Sometimes the music is better at speaking than we are.
all right,
Okay.
the next Adrian and Mark duet song. Song. Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for playing that. And I want my viewing audience to know that Adrian and Mark Duet are out there playing in the subway almost every day. You should see them. And if you want to see more of them, they got a Facebook page, Adrian and Mark Duet. And I believe there's a website. There's another band, Adrian, is it called? Shutter Vision. And they have Stutter Vision. Stutter Vision.
Don't stutter on it.
Stutter Vision. And they got a Facebook page, Adrian and Mark Duet, and if you take the subway or go out of your way, sometimes I drive and I still go down and see them. They're on Jackson Blue Line. It's right by Jackson and Dearborn, or you could get on the other side also, either the Red Line or the Blue Line, right by the Paul, right by the Federal Building, right by the Union League Club. And they're great. It's like a free concert, but they do encourage you to chip in, but it's like a free concert almost every day of the week. Great music. So what are some of your musical influences? I see a Zolfo tattoo on you, so I'm assuming one of your musical instruments, and
Well,
Adrian
yes,
is
Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
Zeppelin is definitely rooted. It's one of my probably most deeply rooted influences, but it's different all the time. It always evolves, really. Right now I'm listening to a lot of Incubus and Deftones. I'm into a lot of instrumental bands like STS9 and Lotus and New Deal, and so it's always changing. It's ever changing for me. I'm always seeking out new music to get into. So you got to do a lot of investigating for good music.
Most of my influences is basically old school cats like Santana, Earth, Wind and Fire, Chick Corea, stuff like that.
Chick Corea, great stuff. Earth,
Yes,
Wind and
sir.
Fire, Santana. Santana's
Yeah.
one of my favorite bands, but my 1.5 second favorite band is Led Zeppelin. So I'm assuming Jimmy Page is a big influence in your...
Yes, I like Jimmy Page a lot. Jimmy Page, Santana is up there. The thing about me is Jimmy Page was definitely, my idol as a guitar player, but I've idolized so many different kinds of musicians, not just guitar players. So I sort of draw influence from not just from a guitar perspective, but from through different vocals and percussion. I try to incorporate sound and just project it out of this particular instrument.
Is there any particular drummer that you really like, Mark?
Yes, there's a few I like. Steve Gadd, Buddy Rich, Buddy Mouse was one of my guys. Yeah. So it was a lot. There's so many. Yeah.
All right, well, I'd say let's talking, and let's hear another song by the Adrian and Mark Duet. Great, and if you like their music, check out their Facebook page. Check out, there's a number of videos on YouTube, and not only are there videos on YouTube, it's not really taken by them. They don't have videos up. It is people coming on the train platform who just take out their iPhones or iPads and take videos. I mean, I see people all the time just holding their iPhones up to you guys.
Yes, the iPhone has become a popular camcorder these days. Yeah. That is for sure.
So, you play with a cowbell, 2 cymbals tied to drumsticks, 2 upside down buckets, and one actual drum. Is that correct?
Exactly.
And you have the sound of like a full set.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, you get a lot of sound out of there.
Yeah, yeah. It took a lot of getting used to playing like this, but I kind of perfected it, mastered it.
Neil Peart and MacGyver at the same time.
Right, yeah.
Well, it's very innovative, and it sounds great. I mean, I wouldn't think it would sound that good, but you make it sound awesome. I mean, Mark is a phenomenal drummer, and he's got a great sound, great vibe, and you guys have a lot of synchronicity. I mean, you play very well together.
I pretend, I tell people that I assembled this myself. Just because everyone tells them how awesome his setup is.
Well, it's an awesome setup, but you wouldn't think it would have the sound it does, but it has great sound. Great sound.
It helps. It helps that Adrian, a lot of songs that we write is Adrian pretty much a perfectionist, so it helps. Our stuff is really, really tight because I'm the same way. So we're both like perfectionists.
We definitely feed off.
It has to be exact.
Well, and the cowbell brings a unique sound too. I mean, especially in some of the more, because you guys have the beginning song is kind of Latin influence.
Yeah.
One of the songs remind me a little bit like a U2 influence. One song even has like a Tangerine Dream influence. I mean, you got jazz, you got Latin, you got classic rock, you got blues, maybe even a little alternative rock.
Try to mix
I mean, you guys, there's no real genre that you guys fit into. It's kind of eclectic, no?
Yeah, I like to say that our style is sponge rock.
Sponge rock.
Because it's sort of just, it soaks in everything.
But it sounds great, and it has a sound, unique unique to itself.
Yeah.
So what are your guys' plans for the future?
I'm gonna get something to eat after I get out of here, that's for sure.
All right, but I know you guys got an album coming up. You're gonna go in the studio.
Yeah.
And hopefully with this video, millions of people see you on wherever this is put on the internet, on Blip TV or YouTube, and you can find it by putting in Frank Avila or Frank Avila Adrian Mark Duet or Issue Forum or www.issueforum.bliptv. And wherever you see it, whether it's on TV or it's on internet, you got to watch their music, listen to their music, watch the videos, and support them. Come out to the subway stations and whatever else you can do to help them out.
Yes.
I say again, let's not have any more talk. Let's hear let's hear one more song for you before we leave today.
You got it.
Thank you for watching. God bless and good night.